Now, before we got these numbers today, you did actually pre-announce some sales, and that was a beat, but details on the revenue beat were somewhat thin. Can you fill out that picture a little bit for us on the revenue side?
So we're very pleased with today's results. Great record quarter for Q3, and the growth came from strength in our mobile market, but also very much so from the IoT products that we've released in the market in terms of, for example, Bluetooth products.
Okay, so there was a little bit of a mix in terms of what you achieved there. Now, the share price recovery that you've sort of seen this year in Dialog Semiconductor, Jalal, it's only brought Dialog really back to where it was before Apple's decision to drop Dialog as an iPhone supplier. Talk to me a little bit about the relationship with Apple right now and whether it's beneficial given the changes that you've seen over the past year or so.
So the relationship is extremely strong, and if you consider the products that we have licensed, exclude those, the new products that we are working with them, we've already in this quarter grown 100% over the same period last year. And during the quarter, we also announced several new large contracts that would take the company much further forward, particularly from 2021 product releases onwards. So we're very pleased with the way we work with them, and we're getting quite a few new design contracts.
So what does Apple make up in terms of your revenue at the moment? How has that relationship been changed? The revenue that you're making from Apple versus other new products and business opportunities that you've just mentioned?
So I think it is essentially overall Apple is around 70% or so. Quite a lot of that is obviously legacy, but our new products with them, which are not under the transition agreement, they are growing very fast, as I said, 100%. And then the rest of our products also show significant growth in areas of power conversion, IoT, and also other products that we sell to automotive and industrial.
Yeah, I mean, Jalal, you've previously said that you want Apple to account for less than 40% of your revenue by 2022. You've said right now you're at about 70. Will you be able to reach that target of Apple accounting for less than 40% of revenue by 2022 with the plans that you have in place?
We are on track. So if you look at our numbers, we are growing all the new businesses, both with Apple and also outside Apple. But in addition, we have roughly about $1 billion of cash to deploy. A lot of that is earmarked to add through inorganic growth acquisitions to add to our top line. Indeed, in the October alone, we closed the deal buying a German company called Creative Chips, which takes us into industrial IoT. So this is the second acquisition we've done this year, and there's a pipeline of such acquisitions ahead of us. So I'm very confident that with both organic and inorganic additions, we'll be hitting those targets that we've outlined.
Oh, right. So tell me a little bit more about the pipeline of acquisitions then, Jalal. You've talked about the cash and the fact that you want to grow inorganically and organically. So what other targets might you be looking at in terms of acquisitions?
So we look always for non-commodity differentiated products where we can keep better margin, and indeed our margin has been improving if you look at the trend of the last 3 years, and we want to continue with that theme. So this tends to be mixed signal, or what we call mixed signal analog products. They tend to be in areas of IoT. That's one of our key areas. More recently, we've also been investing in automotive products, for example, for ADAS systems, infotainment systems, where our core power management has a huge leverage in those areas. So looking ahead, say 2 years, 3 years down the road, we will see a more balanced business with a much more diverse products, not only from mobile, which remains our largest segments, but we will have IoT, industrial, and automotive and computing as other segments of the market that we will serve customers in.
Jalal, just briefly, are you preparing for any kind of negative hit to the business if we have an escalation in US-China trade tensions into next year?
I didn't hear that. Was that about trade
yes.
friction with China?
Yes,
okay.
US-China
So
trade tensions. Are you preparing for any negative hit?
So I think, our direct exposure to some of the customers which are on the trade restriction is relatively small, and majority of our products are not subject to the trade restrictions because they are originated from Europe or Asia. So I think the impact on us is not so huge, but we obviously prefer to have no trade friction. That's not good for anybody, and we look forward to resolution of those trade frictions.